All right, I'd like to call this Cookeville City Council meeting, April 17th, 2014, meeting to order. Can I get a roll call, please?
Councilman Anderson,
Present.
Councilman Woodford,
Present.
Mayor Swallows,
Here.
Vice Mayor Epps, Councilman Albright, here, 4 present, 1 absent.
Thank you. Everyone, please stand for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. All right. Item 1, consider approval of agenda as presented. Do we have additions to the agenda?
We do have one addition. Consider for approval ESRI Enterprise License Agreement for all city departments, sponsor James Mills. That's item 7.
Item 7. Okay. Have a motion for approval of the agenda with the addition of item 7.
So moved.
Second.
All vote.
4 yes votes, motion carries.
All right. Old business. Consider approval of minutes of council meeting held on April 3rd, 2014. Have a motion for approval of the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All vote.
4 yes votes, motion carries.
All right, on to new business. Item 3, consider resolution 140409, supporting the TTU EDA grant application for Regional Economic Development Innovation Center in the Highlands Business Park. Sponsors, Ms. Belinda Kiefer.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Dr. Bharat Soni, who is Vice President for Research and Economic Development at Tennessee Tech University, was supposed to be here. But I do believe he was flying in from India, international travel, so my guess is
He didn't make it.
Probably
he
stuck in
didn't make
custody.
it due to some weather or unfortunate airline experience. So we had this resolution approval last year when Tennessee Tech made application to the EDA, Economic Development Agency, for federal monies through different kinds of grants. I believe the one that applied to last year was the Making It in America program. I think this one is Strengthening America's Communities. So the university has put together a strategic approach again this year, kind of fine-tune the proposals they had for last year for that grant, and are going to be submitting requests for the maximum, I believe, up to $2 million to construct a regional economic and community development innovation center, and have requested that the city and the county together donate some property for that particular instance. Dr. Soni.
Welcome, Dr. Soni.
Welcome to the
Just in
Cookeville
time.
City Council. You're just in time. At this time, I will allow Dr. Soni to give you all just a little bit more information. The City Council does have the executive summary for their goals and objectives of this center in there, and we're requesting your approval to, again, this year donate land to build this innovation in the Highlands Business Park. So, Dr. Soni, would you like to say a few words?
Sorry, we're putting you on the spot as soon as you walk in.
I'm sorry, I was running a little bit late. And we do have traffic on Friday evening. So. Well, today is Friday because tomorrow is off.
Yeah.
But I thank you very much. Thanks. I want to thank Council for giving us this opportunity. I think Tennessee Tech came to you last year. We had a proposal, we call it Made in America. It was focused on manufacturing. We have several changes since last year at Tech. I joined Tennessee Tech almost now. I'm here 7 months, so I'm old. I cannot quite call myself new. But the Research and Economic Development Office at Tech, we are focused on 3 areas. One is to build the reputation of, just to capitalize on our reputation we have on training engineers and educators and in Tennessee, especially quality education, and take it to the next level of research, developing sponsored programs, and developing faculty and students with a culture of innovation. And the third objective which we have is to be vital to economic development, to the community, to region, and to the state and the nation at large. In terms of economic development, we do produce intellectuals who serve the community as workforce, but we also want to take it to the next level where we want to play an active role in community and economic development. So this year we thought through, we had gone through the reviewers' comments from last proposal, and we have changed our focus from two perspectives. Number one, we have broadened the scope of the proposal. Again, we're going to the EDA, Economic Development Agency. For the same cause, we want to build our footprint in the Highland Technology Park, but our main focus this time is on what we call Innovation Center. And the Innovation Center, basically, our goal is economic development, but very first thing in economic development you must have is what we call community development. So the proposal this year is going to focus on both community as well as economic development. You have a 2 or 3 page brief summary in front of you, which I have shared, and a PowerPoint presentation which basically includes different models of achieving exactly those. Is to start with community development, and what by community development we mean bring communities together, not only from Cookeville area, but counties as well as surrounding counties, because we are Cookeville, and this city is the basically trade engine for the surrounding counties, and if county makes progress, we make progress. So we are counting on counties to work with us. I had several meetings with our Tech Ready related programs, and counties are on board. I have made that briefing to 2 or 3 times so far to counties. They are very much excited to participate, to work with us. So several programs with respect to the community development. One is Tennessee Tech has started a new initiative. We call it healthcare informatics, and that is what we need to look at is look at the healthcare which is accountable organizations are concerned with, as well as Affordable Care Act, which came a new act, and see what is the influence of that. There are a lot of emphasis from insurance companies and hospitals on cutting costs, at the same time providing quality service. And there is some burden goes on population to stay healthy. And nowadays you can find an insurance, if you are more healthy, you have to pay less. How do we achieve and change the behavior? So this healthcare informatics will look into that with working with the community hospital and nursing program. And this will be part of these particular innovation centers. We are talking to 2 or 3 different ACOs to provide us funds, and that will basically also create some workforce in our area in healthcare informatics. We are hoping to provide even nursing students an opportunity to this area. We'll also focus on, and community development wise, renewable energy. And you have heard several times regarding this biodigester, which we are talking about, the solar project. And that is the basically look at the renewable resources to produce energy, not only from the research perspective, for community development perspective. So there are several ideas on using waste to create energy, the bio-waste. You know, we are fortunate, we have a company in town called Green Gallon Solutions, which basically look at only the oil. There you go to McDonald's and oil companies or auto companies, and car repair companies and take the waste oil and convert that into biodiesel and new oil. So we're looking into all of these aspects. Another interesting program you'll find in there is Young Innovation Program for young youth of our counties and the city. Teach them about innovation. And innovation, you don't have to have a college degree. If you look at Bill Gates, when he invented Microsoft initial software, he didn't have a BS degree. He did it in a garage. Okay, so we got several examples like that, and many of these youth may have potential in our surrounding counties. Basically, idea is to create an environment so that our youth stay within town. And then we have several research programs listed. Manufacturing is one of them, to work with the community and workforce development. So we're looking at a one-stop approach. We work with city, communities, UCDD, and all the agencies, and create a one-stop innovation center where community has a place to come. Second thing is going to do is, once we have a footprint in that area, I believe it will be easier to attract other companies. And when we attract companies, I think we should use combination of high-tech companies, because we have a tech on site, as well as the regular manufacturing companies. So we need to look at both. And we have potential to do those things as we move forward. With that, I won't go through each and every item in what I have provided, but if you have questions, I'm here to respond. We are the same piece of land, which is around 14 acres, we are looking at. And we have thought through initial design. If you have questions, I can talk about it. But when I say when I use the word we, when I talk to the community, I said, we come up with ideas, but let's refine them together and work with it. So I'm working very closely with UCDD. I just had a meeting this morning with Michelle Price to talk about the proposal and things like that. So with that, let me stop. I know you have some other business to conduct, so I'm here for questions if you have any.
Thank you, Dr. Soni.
Thank you very much.
Anyone have any questions? We appreciate you guys being willing to
Work on this.
work with us on that. Be a great partner and to help with economic
We are there
development.
for you. So I every place I have been, I tell that to community, we are there for. And this, Dr. Oldham has created this position to be vital to be community. So I had a long conversation before I accepted the position, and we are there for you.
Yes, I like this program better than the one you had last year. It has a wider scope, more layers to it.
And we are going to address each and every bullet points which EDA has listed, and we probably will be able to address.
Right.
There's no guarantee we're going to win this,
Mhm.
but we're going to try our best.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Soni. Anything else? A motion for approval?
You don't.
We
yeah,
don't need
We don't
them.
have to, do we?
Yeah, yeah, you do need a motion.
We do?
Yeah,
So
it's a
moved.
resolution, yeah.
A second.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all vote.
4 yes votes, motion carries.
Item 4, consider approval of TVA Invest Prep Program contract and matching funds. Sponsors, Ms. Belinda Kiefer.
I'm just full of fun and games tonight. Mayor and council, it's all very positive, all about creating jobs within our region. Another wonderful partner we have in that venture is the Tennessee Valley Authority. They have been instrumental in so many things that we do for job creation in the Upper Cumberland. Their newest program is called Invest Prep. They've set aside funds that would be were competitive and are to be used to do what you might call the gap pieces in preparing sites and or buildings for to be marketable. You know, we've got some things out at the business park that weren't budgeted but are desperately needed to complete to make a site or the park marketable. And that's what I've brought before you tonight. We made application, we've been awarded on these items, and with your approval of the match, we will move forward. First thing is a Phase 2 archaeological survey that was required out of our Phase 1 back several years ago. That's one item. These are cost estimates for budget purposes only. Obviously, we'll bid them out in our regular procurement processes. The second one would be entrance signage at 2 different locations within the park. Third one being lot signs. We will take each of our concept sites, place a sign on it with total acreage. We'll mark them so that visually prospects can see where boundaries could be. Obviously, that's a fluid thing. We're not parceling out the park, but we want people to be able to drive through there to see it and visualize their business there. The fourth thing they've recommended is that we do a low-cost, high-impact master grading plan for each site out there. If you've seen our terrain, we've got some hills and valleys like everywhere else in the Upper Cumberland, and so by having a master grading plan prepared per site, that'll just give us a leg up when we're in negotiations with prospects, because A, because we have the information, and B, we can show them what can be done and help them, again, visualize their business there. But in order to do that, we need effective topographic information through GIS. Since we've built the road, contours and everything have changed a little bit out there. So TVA has also agreed to fund gathering of data points, aerial flyover, cartography, compilation, put it all together so that it can be fed into our incredible GIS system here, so that when we do maps for prospects, it'll help us on this end, but it also would go to the company that would be doing our master grading plan, and it will help them prepare a better product because we have accurate information. TVA has also agreed to help us with master plan development, concept plan. If we need to tweak that, we will do so. And there's just a couple of pictures of the things that we've worked with TVA on, signage and brochure, etc. The total for the applied elements that we requested was $132,031. Putnam County is a special opportunity county, therefore our required match is 30%, which Putnam County has agreed to split with us to invest into the park. Total of $39,631. Our share would be $19,815.50, and I recommend your approval.
Thank you, Ms. Kiefer. Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
Questions, comments?
I think this money going to be well spent.
Yes.
Because all of us are visual, and these site locators, in particular, future businesses looking, they are too. So anything that can help us bring something in is a wonderful opportunity, and TVA is a partner in this, which is great.
TVA is able to do the 3D pictures and things like that, which some people, it helps them to like you say, visualize their building on that lot whenever they can actually get that 3D picture. And I just think it's amazing what they can do, so it'll be very helpful.
I think we've got a ton of momentum right now at
Yes, sir.
the business park, and you know, being able to have a visual for it and signage, and just be able to market this after there's already been a ton of talk about it.
Yes, sir.
Chatter. So it's a perfect time to capitalize on that. So if we can just
Great.
continue the snowball, I hope. So
And a perfect price for us.
Ma'am.
For the,
exactly.
City of Cookeville and Putnam County.
Exactly. All right, anything else? Seeing none, all vote.
Thank you.
4 yes votes, motion carries.
All right, item 5, consider appointment to the Alcoholic Beverage Control Board. Sponsors Miss Kathy McLean.
Mayor and council, we do have a position expiring on the Alcoholic Beverage Control Board, and Kurt Lamb has shown an interest in being on the board, and his term would expire September of 2017, and I recommend appointing him to this board, please.
Thank you, Ms. McLean. Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
Questions, comments?
We're always grateful when somebody wants to serve.
Yeah, we've been very fortunate that we have citizens step up whenever we've asked them to take on a volunteer job, so I feel very fortunate that we have such a population out there that we can draw from.
All right, all vote.
4 yes votes, motion carries.
All right, item 6. Consider approval to purchase Power DMS policy management software from the sole source provider. Sponsor is Chief Randy Evans.
Mayor and council, I just ask tonight that you consider approval to purchase Power DMS. It's a document management software. Primarily, we would use this to manage our accreditation files and standards files and policy files. Back up one for me. As you can see there, CLIA, which is Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies, uses this program exclusively to push out their new policy standards and also to do the file management and compliance files. It is a cloud-based system, so we don't have any additional need for extra storage or hardware. It allows us the opportunity to get away from paper files and actually mailing those compliance files to assessors and actually submit those electronically. Next slide. It is CJIS compliant, which means it meets all the protocols defined by the FBI to be a secure site and to be able to handle sensitive information. As stated earlier, it is a sole source because it is the only software of its kind and only one used by CLIA itself. It is a drug fund purchase and with a purchase cost of $10,915. For the first year, the annual maintenance fee is included, but subsequent years, then we would have to budget $3,500 for an annual maintenance fee. And I recommend your approval.
Thank you, Chief Evans.
Thank you.
A motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Anybody have any really tough technical questions for him? Because he does not have his IT back up here right now.
He may be in the wings.
So the maintenance fee is included for this first year in the $10,000?
Yes, ma'am.
And will the drug fund pay the maintenance fee in the future?
No, ma'am. They'll have to come out of operating. It's
Operating budget.
reoccurring costs.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can't use drug funds for reoccurring costs, right?
Correct.
Right. And in our work session, did you not bring up that this, when officers, you can tell whether they have had the training, so they're in compliance, whether they've had,
Correct, yeah.
That you can-
This system will manage whether or not they have read the file, and they actually go in and, once they log into the system, it would identify them electronically. Obviously, we can't tell whether or not they read it or not. We can tell
Right.
if they've been in there.
been in there?
And then, but they have to accept, the fact that they check off and indicate that they have read and understand the policy, so.
Okay.
You
which
might
is-
check on that, because I've got a program my students use, and it tells me how long they've been on something, and that way you can figure out whether they've read it or not, quote unquote.
Yeah, that's still no indication whether or
Yeah,
not.
not necessarily.
You indicated before, or at our work session, that
Yes,
in the past years, you've had to do hard copies, mail these to the people that were taking care of the accreditation. How long do you have to keep those copies? How long do you have to store those copies before you can get rid of them?
From previous years?
From previous years, yeah.
There's not a requirement. Once you meet compliance, I mean, they will never look at those files again.
Oh, okay.
Because they have literally went through standard by standard, file by file, and identified where we have met that compliance. Now, we may still have those same files in another place because it includes citations, police reports, other documents, but those particular files, we literally just discard them.
So this will help eliminate that storage issue.
It would, yes.
Good.
Did we not just recently go through the accreditation process?
We did, yes.
How'd that go?
Well, we actually got reaccredited, believe it or not. And
I believe it.
I believe it.
I do too. And this is actually a meritorious accreditation because we've been accredited for more than 15 years. So once you reach that 15-year mark, they recognize that achievement.
Good. Great job.
Congratulations.
Anything else?
No.
All vote.
Thank
4
you.
yes votes, motion carries.
Thank you, Chief Evans. All right, this is the item we added to the agenda, item 7. Consider for approval ESRI Enterprise License Agreement for all city departments. Sponsors, Mr. James Mills.
Mayor and council members, our current small government license agreement with ESRI expires in June. This agreement provides our GIS users with access to ESRI licensed software and maintenance on that software. We have to have this software to run our GIS systems. ESRI has offered to a new 3-year agreement at the same price as our original contract, which was in 2011. This cost is $35,000 annually, with the 3 utilities paying $7,500 and the general department paying $12,500. So the total for a 3-year agreement is $105,750. That includes a $750 charge for an ArcPad license agreement, which has been paid for by the electric department. Prior to our 2011 agreement with Ezra, each individual department contracted with them for the various software, so this saves us a great deal of money. It also provides us with improved and expanded service, and we'd recommend for your approval.
Thank you, Mr. Mills. Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Mills, this is a 3-year contract, so
Correct.
we pay as we go, though? We don't pay up
Yes.
front?
Paid annually.
Okay, good.
Right.
Any other questions?
No.
Comments?
More efficient.
All right, seeing none, all vote.
4 yes votes, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mills. All right, this is the portion of the meeting where we open up the floor to all the journalism students. To ask them to come forward, tell me a little bit about you, what got you into journalism. No, we like to open the floor to anybody that would like to come forward and say anything, anything's on their mind, good, bad, ugly, and different. Anybody up here?
No.
I am going to say this. April 17th, 1964, Shea Stadium was opened in New York. In the United States, the Ford Mustang was officially unveiled. And I believe someone else was unveiled in 1964, April 17th. That'd be Mr. Jeff Littrell. It is his 50th birthday today, I believe. He's sitting in the back, so no one can see him. Happy birthday, Mr. Littrell.
Happy birthday.
Actually, it's tomorrow. He's got one more day to be less than 50.
Oh, well. I have to look
Goes
up.
downhill after this, but
I didn't look up April 18th. I apologize. Anything else?
No.
There's an Easter egg hunt in Dogwood Park Saturday. What time does it start, Rick? Do you know? 11?
11.
11 o'clock. Other than that, it's
And, well, we've
Easter
got
weekend.
the next stage of Dogwood Park with the pergola / arbor. We were discussing that, whether it was a pergola or an arbor, but it's one and the same.
So,
So. but
take your
it-
choice.
Yeah, just depends on how fancy you want to be.
Yep.
Looks great up there.
We appreciate you guys for coming,
Yes.
although I know you had to. So, anything else? All right. This meeting.